happened to our country is a total disgrace.
None of this stuff would be happening. None of it. If main man right here was in office.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
Have any arguments against that right now? And I want to see how it goes. Who's talking to these people? He's speaking in Iowa, and he started to answer questions right there on the spot, something that Biden would never do. Biden won't ever do this. Start answering questions right there on the spot from your audience, please.
Quick questions, and then I'll shake a few hands. Question, ma'am, go ahead. Hello.
Hi, welcome, President Trump.
Thank you.
Okay, so you kind of already answered my question a little bit, but my question was, when you become president again, what would the first thing you'll do to fix our current school system and even our current military that's only focusing on teaching woke gender ideology over learning the basics of life and history and protecting us?
Great question, young lady. And she said, when you become president again. Not if.
So, good question. Though. Some of it partially answered, but not all. With the military, we're ending woke immediately. You know, I ended woke, totally. And then in their first week, they reestablished it. It's crazy. They pay instructors hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. It literally, they want our military to be woke. And it's just not going to happen. You read in Hawaii where they had the horrible fire where they have people going there. And before they bring them on board, they have to study woke for a week. Can you believe this? In other words, everyone's wanting to get back to their home, finding the bodies. It was such a tragedy. You don't read about it too much anymore, but hell is going on over there. And they want to give them classes in essentially wokeness. Can you believe? So, you know, you've seen it. Well, we'll end that very quickly. We will, with the school, I think the schools are very important. We're going to bring our education department back. Now, if you look at our education, we pay more per pupil than any country in the world by 3 times. And yet we're at the bottom of the list. We have a bad, very bad. If a place like Iowa, as an example, if you could run your own and we give you just a percentage of the money, because you wouldn't need nearly the money that they waste in Washington. Number one, you love your students, you want your students, you know your students. The parents will be involved. That's the other thing. We're going to let the parents, because some of these school boards have become tyrannical. They've been horrible. But we're going to bring that back, and that's going to answer your question, because I think that we can have one of the best school systems in the world. Right now, we have one of the worst. They basically rate 40 countries, and we're always at close to the bottom of the list, sometimes the bottom of the list, and spending more money than anybody else. So we're going to take care of all of your needs very quickly, and I think it's going to happen very quickly. And one of the things we're doing, closing the border day one and starting drilling for oil. Okay?
This dude answers the questions, give you examples, give you stats. He make real life tie-ins. Like and the only reason why I'm saying this, all right, this is for the audience, the part of my audience who believe that, because I've heard this before, that Trump does not answer questions. He would just do a whole bunch of talking, and he don't have any plans. What is his plans? He don't have any plans. I need to hear plans. Every time he answers a question, he gives plans. People just don't like listening to him speak. That's the thing. They want to, okay, number one, y'all ready to write down? Number one, you ready? Okay, number one, I will. And they just want to, okay, he said this, specifically said this right here, just this one line. Just one line. We need to hit a one-liners. You need to talk to us with your thumb and be presidential. Like those people that are just idiots and they need to hear things the way that they need to be coddled, right? I need to say it in baby talk so you understand it, because all of the stories and the analogies and the tie-ins, the real life situations discombobulates you a little bit because you're just listening to respond and you're not listening to understand. So sometimes when you're listening to Trump, the dude can talk. He does do a whole bunch of talking, and you can miss the message if you're just listening for one point. Like, did he say a plan? Did he say a plan yet? Like, if you're listening for that just to say, he ain't give us nothing, then you're going to miss it.
Drill, baby, drill. Right? Okay, do you have one over here? Yes, please.
Welcome to Iowa, President Trump.
Thank you very much.
Here's my question. I felt that the 2020 election was fraudulent. So what measures are being taken by the RNC to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Now, I'm about to let him play it, and y'all are going to get mad at me at what I'm about to say. You really are, but listen, we family. And sometimes families fight. As long as you come back and you watch all the videos and you share them all the way to the end. All right. Love you too. All right. Now that we fixed that, I want to hear him answer this. But, I think y'all need to stop talking about it so much. He's working on that. Him and his team are working on that. But the more conservatives talk about election fraud and make you look weak, make you sound extremely weak, we're going to hammer it until so they understand, and we know they're cheating. We know they cheated us. And we're going to make sure it never happened again. So we're going to ask about it and talk about it all the time. Nah, he's going to fix it. And even when he speak about it too much, just like, yo, leave it be. We moving forward. We got a plan. What's the plan? All right? What's the plan so that it don't happen again? We all know that it was stolen. What's the plan so it won't happen again? That's pretty much what she was saying. But the more we talk about that, I'm just saying, just putting it out there.
Okay, well, you're not the only one, because if you look at polls, many people, big percentage of the country felt it was, they used to cheat, but they would have cheated anyway. Many precautions, many law firms have been hired, a lot of work has been done, and beyond RNC. I mean, I wasn't very thrilled with them, obviously. I was always told you go out, you campaign. I left here early in the morning, and you go home, and you think you've done great. I actually made 7 rallies on the last day or two. 7. I don't know anybody's going to do 7 rallies, and they're big rallies, and they were full-scale rallies. And I left, and I said, we're going to win. And at 10 o'clock in the evening, I looked at the numbers, and it was over. We were doing so well. Pennsylvania, all these states were doing so well. Then all of a sudden, they made adjustments and all this crap, and it was a horrible thing. So they were able to do things with COVID. Oh, we can't go vote. We can't this. We can't that. Mail-in voting. We have a lot of great people involved. That's more than anything else. I say, I don't want help in getting the vote. I only want help. It used to be called election day. Now it's called election period, because some of these things last for like 2 months, right? I said, that's all I want. I want people to work, because we went back and we did great. And then the vote comes in, and then it was looking great. And then all of a sudden, this horrible thing happened. And by the way, it's all down. People know it. We had judges that didn't want to get involved. They were afraid. Everybody was afraid. They were afraid of the subject. It's a disgrace. What happened to our country is a total disgrace. Okay, disgrace. So, and look at the result.
I didn't believe it at first. I'm be honest with you. I didn't believe it at first. I believe it now. I do.
I mean, look at the result. I mean, practically every problem that we talked about today wouldn't have happened. Ukraine wouldn't have happened. Inflation wouldn't have happened. I mean, so many of these things that we talk about today, we wouldn't even be thinking about. Look at the supply chain. Who ever heard of a supply chain where people can't deliver? You couldn't get baby food. You couldn't get anything. The only thing you could get is all the drugs you wanted. You could get drugs. You could get cocaine. I wonder whose cocaine that was, by the way, in the White House.
We all know who it was. It was either Kamala's or Hunter's. Now, I'm in the thinking that Kamala don't do the nose candy a lot. I think she does the gummies. I think she makes sure that she's on a gummy every single day. I think she has to be in order to work alongside Biden. And Biden probably have to be on a gummy in order to work beside her, because they're both bumps on the log, man. For real. Every time we listen to her, she sounds gummied down. She sounds high. She sounds high, and I smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
That you know that right now, I smokes the weed. All right? I enjoy it. It works for me. So I know somebody that's inebriated when I see one. And that young lady right there, she's lit. She is lit. You feel me? And she has horrible timing. Kamala, let me tell you this. There's no way of measuring how long that gummy will be in your system. That's why I don't even bite gummies no more. It's like you gotta be a mad scientist. You gotta be like Walter White.
Say my name.
Shout out to Walter White. Guys, I am almost done Breaking Bad. My sons, they used to always watch Breaking Bad when they were young, and I'd never seen it until probably like 2 or 3 months ago. I've been on a Breaking Bad binge for the last 2 or 3 months. I'm almost done, and that bad boy that's a vicious show, man. Y'all know about that? Man, we need to talk about it someday. We need to talk about Breaking Bad someday. But yeah, Breaking Bad.
What about that deal? Packages of, they said, well, we don't know. No, we don't know. And then when they went for the fingerprint thing, everybody's there, fingerprints all, it was wiped clean. Not one fingerprint. Not one fingerprint, which is impossible. You can go to any place in this room, there's fingerprints all over the place, especially those cubicles. So we're going to be working very hard. That's my number one thing, much more so than campaigning, actually, is that they don't cheat on the election. Because they will try, and they'll be successful to an extent, but we're not going to let them steal this election because this country is going to fail. I'll tell you, I don't think the people of this country will allow it to happen either, because this country is on a very thin edge right now. Thank you very much for the question. Thank you.
And that's the only reason why I'm listen, black people, if you watching me and you're like, man, I can't believe you always on the side of these conservatives, bruh. You lost, man. You all right? You all right? You must be lost or something. Let me tell y'all something, bro. Where this country is going is not good. Okay? And a big reason for this is Joe Biden. Damn! Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and this entire administration are allowing things to happen that are putting us in a bad situation. You already see what's happening with the borders. You already see what's happening in Ukraine right now. You already see what's happening with the drugs. You already see what's happening with you already see what's happening with the economy. Might I go on? It has turned into Gotham City all around the country. Have you ever seen this many Walmarts and Targets get broken into and looted all at the same time? All of these Louis Vuittons and Gucci's, Saks Fifth Avenues, people just running inside stores and just doing what the hell they want. Men walking into women's bathrooms and daring you to say something because they claiming to be, come on now. None of this stuff would be happening. None of it if main man right here was in office. So it's imperative that y'all at least consider all of that when you go back to the voting booth. All right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to thank you, President, for all that you've done. A question I want to ask you is, I'm telling you, no man can endure what you have endured. Do you realize that God is behind you and strengthening you?
Amen, bro.
Do you realize that?
Amen, bro.
I appreciate what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, too. It's been a terrible thing in so many ways. The only thing, the great gratitude I get, I'm looking at polls now where we're 50 points, 60 points up, among all these people. And we're beating Biden in all these polls, and we're beating everybody. And
oh, yeah. I just now posted something on X about Trump being up 10 points up on Biden. So he's, and this was a Washington Post poll that was taken, and Trump still have 10 points on Biden.
We have had to endure. We endured a fake Russia thing for years. We endured
Thank you,
all
Tactical
of this stuff, all fake.
Timothy.
And think of how bad these people
OG.
were. A guy like Adam Shifter, he's a real bad guy. I call him pencil neck. He's got the smallest neck I've ever seen. He's not going to be playing for your local teams, Iowa State. They're not going to be recruiting him to play football. But Adam Schiff, he makes up with Hillary and with the Democrats. They make up the Russia scam. He knows it's a scam. Think about how bad. I have sons and daughters. We love our sons and daughters, right? And I watch him on television one day. So he knows it's a hoax. Russia. Turned out to be a total hoax. No collusion. There was no anything. So he knows it's a hoax right in the middle. He goes out to the microphones after leaving the meeting, which is supposed to be very, quiet. Nobody's supposed to know what goes on in there. He goes out to the microphone and goes, the president's son, Donald Trump Jr., will go to prison for what he's done. Now, he knows it's a hoax. Think of it. It's not like I'm reading and seeing, and I watch this guy telling me. I'm watching him saying that my son is going to prison. My son is going to prison. And I know that he had nothing to do. There was nothing. The whole thing was made up. It was a made up story. You know why it was made up? It was an excuse why Hillary lost. They said, let's blame Russia. And it was supposed to be a one-day deal, but the fake news wouldn't let it be one day. And the fake news carried it and on and on and on. We have the same thing right now. It's going on still. Do you know that if I got indicted, but because the people know me so well, they know it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They know that. And think of it.
I like this brother, man. And I didn't before. I like this man.
They say he questioned the election. He questioned, well, everybody in this room questioned the election. The Democrats questioned 2016. They were all standing up. They were forming cards. They were forming all sorts of things. And those are the same guys that say it's so corrupt. Washington's a corrupt place. Think of it. You're watching some guy on television, a high-ranking congressman, say that your son is going to prison, and he knows that it was a hoax. I mean, how bad do you have to be to do that? And then it gets, no collusion after 2.5 years. And then 2 weeks go by, and I had a little piece. I focused on China and other things. It's almost the easy subject, right?
The way he say China is a little is wild though, because it sounds like something else. China. I
focused on the easy things like China, Russia. And then they start with Ukraine. He made a phone call to Ukraine. It was a perfect phone call. That phone call turned out absolutely nobody's ever seen it. Everything I said was right about please study. If there's any corruption, please report it to the Attorney General of the United States, etc. It turned out to be exactly right. A lot of people are saying right now they've got to undo even the theory of those indictments because those indictments were fake, just like everything else. So we have to get back to making our country great again. But you're right. Many people ask me that question. They say, how do you do it? And I do it because I feel real love and I feel real appreciation. And I do it because it's more important than anything else I could do. I could be living a very nice life in the most beautiful places all over the world. And here I am with you in Iowa, and I'd rather be here.
I can be in the most beautiful places in the world, but here I am in these slums with y'all.
So thank you very much. Very nice. Appreciate it.
But China.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. President. My question for you is, what are you going to do to make future generations more successful than what we are right now?
Well, we have to save our country first. I really do. I mean, it's a great question in a way, but I think our country, we have almost 36 trillion in debt. We are probably, if this group keeps running, think of what's happened. We used to be allies with Saudi Arabia, a lot of money, a lot of everything, a lot of energy. We didn't need their energy. That was the beauty, but we were allies with all these different countries. Everyone's left us. Brazil is up with China now. Saudi Arabia is with China. Many of the Middle Eastern countries, a lot of oil, a lot of money, they're with China.
None of that would have happened if we would have voted this dude right here, for real.
We've lost the whole of South America is with China. This all happened over the last 2.5 years. It's unbelievable. We have no relation with all the money we waste on trying to bribe friendship. We try and bribe our friendships.
We have none.
Anybody.
We ain't got no friendships.
And Europe honestly takes advantage of us on trade. And on NATO, they take total advantage of us. And, you see that with Ukraine. We're trying to help them. And the problem is Biden got so far ahead of this thing that now, they're saying, well, why should we have to put up money? The stupid Americans are putting it all up. That's what happened. We're 200 billion and they're 25 billion. And it's right at their doorstep. And we have an ocean in between us. It's much different.
If you're watching this and you have anything to say that debunks anything he's saying, please bring that my way. Please bring that my way. All right? For real. I want to hear it.
So first thing, just to answer your question, we have to save our country. Okay? It's a sad answer, but it happens to be true. Okay, how about we do one more? We always have to end on a good one, okay? We have to end on a very good one.
Hi, President Trump.
Hi.
First of all, I just want to say that I love and respect you so much, and I want to thank you for being America's biggest fighter. So there's that. But I also, let's have a policy-related question. I just want to know if you have any words of advice or encouragement for a lot of us young conservatives who are afraid to speak out, as you may know. I definitely know from being a student at Iowa, Hawkeye State, by the way.
Oh, good.
And I just want to know, especially with the caucus coming up, we need to get a lot more young people out there. So I'd just like to know if you have any thoughts on how we could be better patriots to get you
So I'll tell you, it's so great that you asked that, and with such enthusiasm and everything. It's so great. So remember this. There are far more of you than you think. You don't see them. I know people in Beverly Hills. I see him on television. We will stop Trump, but they go in and vote for me, It's true. It's like you think it's woke. It's not. You look at the percentage of votes and everything else, if you can count on it, which you basically can't. But look, you just keep your thoughts and because you happen to be doing the right thing. There are many, many more of you than you understand. There are many more of you than there are of them, and a lot of them are you, because it's common sense. You know, they say, are you a conservative? Whether you're conservative, yeah, I'm conservative, but I'm really a person of common sense. We need a wall.
Thank you, bruh. Me too, man. Thank you. That's my answer. People say, Vanna, you're a conservative now? You black conservative? You a conservative? I'm a man of common damn sense. Break it down, Trump. He said we need a wall.
We want low taxes. We want good education. We want to be able to build and buy houses. You know, nobody can buy houses anymore because the interest rates are so
Way
high.
too high.
Remember when they were high? I was jawboning that guy. Get him down. You better get him down. They said you can't fire the head of the Federal Reserve, but he thought he was going to be fired. And, you know, you take a look at interest rates, what's happening right now. You just stay just the way you are. You shouldn't change at all. And just go out there, and people respect you, and they respect you more than you would ever think. And there's so many of you, okay? And you're going to a great school. Thank you all very much. So remember that. Get it.
He made a lot of damn sense. And if you can prove him wrong, either send me an email and of some information, hit me up on IG with some information, or join us on Twitch, and you can join me on a video yourself. All right, there won't be no debate. I'm letting you know that right now. It's not going to be a debate. Even if you bring me opposite information, opposing information, I'm not going to give you a debate. I'm going to give you a conversation. I'm going to allow you to put all of your information out there that you might have.